So I stood in a beautiful church like this one right here 35 years ago, and I made a commitment to marry my wife, Deborah Lynn Ferreira. I did this before God. I did it before her family and my family and a lot of other witnesses that celebrated with us. You know, we've been through a lot since that day, July 13th, 1985, 35 years. And as I reflect, I thought I'd share a little, maybe wisdom and encouragement with you. So, first question, do you remember your marriage vows? You know, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, until death do us part. You made that commitment out loud like I did, in front of God and witnesses, right? So are you a man of your word? Something for you to think about. Hey, if the magic has left your marriage and you feel like you've fallen out of love with your mate, I have just a couple of questions for you to consider. Number one, do you still know how to love your wife? Number two, does your wife know you love her? You know, there are a lot of great practices on how to make your wife feel loved and appreciated. You know, they must be shared, my friends. Hey, what does the Bible say about love, since we're standing in church? What does the Bible say about marriage? You know, there's some amazing things that we need to learn, or maybe I should say relearn, and we should say them to our wife frequently. So back to the what does the Bible say? Well, it says, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself for her. Because your wife needs to know you love her and think about her, include her in your plans. And that you consider her options, her needs, and her desires. And if you don't tell her, she won't know it. So stop and remember the qualities that you saw in her when you initially met her and were attracted to her years ago. You know, over the years, she may have gained a few pounds. Yep, me too. And in case you didn't note it, maybe a few wrinkles here and there. And sometimes, you know, she seems to be buried under a mountain of household chores. But she's still the same wonderful person you fell in love with. And you know, that's just easy to forget. So you must constantly remind yourself, and her too, of it. You know, they say when roses are exposed to frost, they wither and die. But given the right amount of sunshine and rain, they flourish. I'm Mark Height. Welcome to Hit the Mark Today. Hey, real quick, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and share buttons for me. And if you enjoy listening to our Hit the Mark Today videos, click on that little icon bell after you subscribe. What that does is it just gives you notification on new videos when they're released. Positively impacting people every day with the message of hope is the goal. I appreciate the way you share your hope messages with our group. It's awesome. So thanks again, guys. Okay, let's get back to this. How to love your wife. I mean, we got to be honest here, standing in God's house. I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful place. So in the Bible, you know, Solomon was the wisest man, and he describes the ideal wife. He says, they rise up and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her. Proverbs 31:28 says, why do these children praise their mother? because they saw their father do it. So if you've been too busy, too self-absorbed and distracted, change your ways. And go and tell your wife how much you love her right now. And by the way, ladies, that same principle works for you as well. So, hey, there's a story in the Old Testament. It's pretty awesome. And it says that, actually it wasn't a story, it was a law that they talk about that required a man that has taken a new wife to not go out to war or be charged with any business. He was free to be home 1 year and bring happiness to his wife. How cool is that? So imagine a whole year of doing nothing but loving and getting to know each other. Here's a question: why did God plan it that way? Well, because no battle you ever fight and no business you'll ever be involved in is more important than building a lasting relationship with your spouse. My friends, a leading cause of divorce happens to couples who don't set aside time at the end of the workday just to sit down together, free from their TV, their telephone, and oh my goodness, free from social media if that's possible. And they just share their thoughts with each other and their feelings on how their day was. Do you know what never grows old? Caring, communicating, assuring your spouse that all places you could be right now, you'd rather be with them. Many times your wife will share problems with you, but it's not that she wants to have you fix them right away. Truth to be told, some of the problems she's discussing with you, she asked months ago to help. And she's okay with that. What she simply wants is just some empathy, which just sort of means compassion and understanding and support. And when you listen to her attentively and listen to her concerns, she feels loved and valued. And they say 9 times out of 10, the problem sort of fades away. To me, it's a big return on a small investment. So here's a few questions you can ask yourself to see if you still know how to love your wife. Okay, let's go. You ready? Do you recognize their gifts? Do you rejoice in their successes? Do you support and encourage them to grow to their full potential? Are you willing to do that? Aim. When you truly love someone, you won't try to hold them back or seek control of them because of your insecurities. You've got to recognize their gifting, and you help them become everything that God has called them to be. Release them and then celebrate their successes. All right, fire. And should their light shine brighter than yours, and boy, that happens today a lot, become their biggest cheerleader. If it wasn't modeled for you in your family of origin, chances are, you're going to have to work really hard at being able to do this. But you can do it. Take and use these suggestions on how to make your wife feel loved and appreciated. We're in this beautiful church where we all stood before God, our families and witnesses, and we made a commitment to our wife. Don't forget that. So, go hit the mark today.